Good morning to everyone joining us from India, and good afternoon to our audience in Japan, and good evening, good night to all our viewers from whichever geography they are tuning in. I am Pranav Guha Thakurta, founder EduTV, a platform with a viewership of millions across 28 countries. It's truly an honor to welcome you all to today's program, Smooth Transition from Schools to Universities. EduTV was ideated by the visionary Professor Pant, whose pioneering approach to education and innovation has laid the foundation for this platform. Professor Pant's relentless pursuit of creating meaningful dialogues in the education space continues to inspire us to bridge the gap between schools, universities, and the global education system. Today's discussion, smooth transition from schools to universities, has been carefully curated by the brilliant Professor Dr. Upasana Mahanta, Dean of Admissions and Outreach, and Professor at OP Jindal University, New Delhi. Sonipat, sorry. Her expertise ensures we delve deep into this crucial phase of a student's academic journey. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests, Mrs. Madhu Khanna, Principal of Global Indian International School, Tokyo, Japan. Mrs. Khanna is a beacon of excellence in education, inspiring students and educators alike with her vision and dedication. Mr. Pankaj Joshi, Principal of Academic World School, Bemetara, Chhattisgarh, India. Mrs. Sorry, Mr. Joshi's commitment to fostering holistic education and nurturing future leaders is truly commendable. I would also like to take a moment to appreciate Ms. Tanya Sethi, co-founder of EduTV, whose unwavering support and leadership have been instrumental in making this platform what it is today. Let's embark on this enlightening discussion where we explore ideas, share experiences, and shape the future of education. I would like to start with Mrs. Madhu Khanna. Ma'am, how does Global Indian International School, Tokyo, Japan, foster a global mindset in students to prepare them for universities worldwide?
Thank you, Pranav, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with your audience and my colleague, Mr. Pankaj Joshi, who is on sharing the platform with me. At GIIS, which we call as Global Indian International School, fostering a global mindset goes beyond academics, and most of the international schools would do the same. It's embedded in the very ethos of the school's culture and the vision of the school. So here's how we ensure that our students are ready to thrive in this world, which is unpredictable for students' future. There is a global exposure through student exchange programs. We have a pan-Asia presence, and we actively engage our students in international exchange programs with partner schools across the globe, including Singapore, Japan, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, and India. So these programs, they allow the students to experience diverse cultures. They collaborate with other students on global challenges and develop cross-cultural communication skills, which are very essential to be a global citizen. Integrating a global curriculum is another aspect, offering multiple curricula such as IB diploma program, Cambridge, and CBSE allows us to cater to diverse learning needs, which ensure that the students have an international relevance. For instance, the IB diploma program nurtures critical thinking and research skills, aligning perfectly to expectations of the top universities worldwide. Then participating in global platforms Our students regularly participate in Model United Nations, international debates, and hackathons. So fostering an understanding of global issues and honoring, the honing their leadership skills. Another aspect which I would say adds on to it is focus on language proficiency. So fluency in languages like English, Mandarin, Japanese, Hindi, Tamil, French is encouraged with specialized programs aimed at developing confident and articulate communicators, a critical trait universities, seek. And last but not the least, sustainable and community initiatives. We are, aligning the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, for students to take active role in addressing global issues through like climate change, gender inequality, and education for all. So these experiences help the students to build a global perspective and also give them, to position themselves as socially conscious future leaders. I believe a combination of all this within the school environment and beyond the school environment with the local community helps our students to be ready for the universities.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think you're doing a commendable work, doing exchange programs, and also keeping aligned with the SDG goals also, and interacting with all the universities, connecting them with their students. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to request Mr. Pankaj Joshi. Sir, we want your advice on, like in a semi-urban context like Bemetara, Chhattisgarh, India, how do you ensure students are exposed to opportunities and resources for higher education globally? EIS.
Right. So I think I was on mute and there was some internet issue as well.
No problem.
So Pranav, I
Technological
think
glitches.
if I've heard your question correctly, you basically want me to spell out on how to ensure that students are exposed to opportunities and resources for higher education, right? So, it's as Dr. Khanna has already talked about it, and I'm really grateful and thankful to you, Pranav, for having me here. First opportunity, I would want to thank you, and it's a pleasure to be on the same panel with Mrs. Khanna. And it was great to hear to her ideas how GIIS Japan is taking all these things forward. Uh, and you have very intelligently and smartly put two different contexts together. There's one international context that Mrs. Khanna brings in, and the other is, as you say, a context that I bring in because my school is totally a school which has students from Central India and parts of South India. So these are two different contexts. We are not an international school, and that's what we claim. So two different contexts, but I think the basic idea is the same. We are looking at preparing students for university, and university could be a global university, could be a university in the US, could be a university somewhere in North India. But I think in today's world, majority of the universities, the requirements for students are similar, and it's only a difference of context that spells out in different schools, and that's how we look at things differently. So what we do in our school is that we do take this very seriously, and we recognize the fact that school is the entrance to universities. That's the first area of recognition. And so that's where we start. Uh, we do have procedure and a system set up in the school where we do interact with parents during various parent teacher meetings, and we do tell them about what are the career options available, what are the different placements available, what is to be done with what subjects and subject choices and so on and so forth, because we very strongly believe that in a context that we live in, particularly in India, the parents play a very, very major role in what their children are going to do in the future. Now, whether parents should play that role or not, whether the children should be given the freedom and the independence to decide on their subjects is a long ongoing debate, which we do not want to really touch at this point of time. But whatever it may be, that is what the reality is. And I think rather than simply ask parents not to be a part of it, it's better to involve them in the process and create a buy in for what we are there for. So that's where we are from. And we do try to educate parents about the various options available, about the various universities available, about the various things that are available for students. And also, we give them some idea on how to prepare the students for universities. So, what we do is we have intervention at two particular stages. In our current education system, there are four, I always believe there are four big leaps. One is when the student moves from nursery to formal education. That's a huge big leap for which parents have to be developed. Then you have from class 8 to class 10, then you have from class 10 to class 11, and then from class 12 to university. So these are the major leaps, and that's where the parents have to be prepared. So we do have all these various meetings with the parents. The first one is called options at 14 plus. This happens when the students are at around class 8. So we educate them on what subjects to choose. Then similarly, we do this at the age of about 16, which is called options at 16 plus. Then we have extensive offline and online career counseling sessions with the students. One of the things that I always talk to about parents and the students both is that when they are going to university, instead of choosing a university or a college, they should rather choose a course for them, because that's, I think, is the right thing to do. And majority because having worked in international context, I know that majority of the students are making this mistake of choosing a university rather than a course for them, which is resulting in the higher rate of dropouts from universities. And in one of the schools where I was there as not, I wouldn't say advisor, but one of the colleagues was there. So they did an interesting statistics. What they did was they looked at how many people actually went to great universities and dropped out after 2 years, and it was quite a large number. So that I think one of the jobs for schools also is to prepare the students properly for university. We also need to educate our teachers, because one of the most important jobs that a teacher has to do is when he walks into the classroom, he or she, they do of course have to teach their subjects and look at academic performance, but at the same time they have to also educate students about what lies in the subject ahead. For example, if I'm teaching English, I need to tell my students and my parents as well, whenever there's an opportunity, that if English is being studied at the higher level, what are the outcomes of that, not only in the terms of a career, but what impact will it have on somebody's life. So that's important. And of course subject choices. And as I don't want to really go on and on, Mrs. Khanna has already talked about most of the things, sustainable development and all those things. So I really don't want to talk about that, because those are things which, even if schools don't want to do nowadays, curriculums are planned in such a manner, and they're so beautifully planned in such a manner, that we have to incorporate all these things. And thanks to the NEP 2020, all these things are now either a part of the system, or they are very soon going to be a part of the system. So those are some of the things that we do. I think, Pranav, I think I've covered most of the things that we
Yes,
do.
yes, yes. I think both of you very nicely covered all the things. Now I will request both of you. We would like to have your message for the passing out 12th graders, ma'am. So I will start with Mrs. Khanna. Mrs. Khanna, I would like to have your message for the students who will be writing their examinations into class 12th examination in 2025. Over to you, Mrs. Khanna.
Giving a message to a student who's on the verge of, giving, preparing for examinations. Yes, if the students are very keen on messages from principals, I would rather give a message that encourage, them to remind them to that life's most valuable lessons often come from unexpected challenges. So it's not just about preparation for exams, it is preparation for life. And in today's world of adaptability and emotional intelligence, which are very crucial, as crucial as technical skills, so um, they should be ready to embrace the unexpected, not just prepare for exams. Handling pressure is one of the things which all the students need to um, learn, and it's also a skill. So cope up with breaking any task into manageable steps, taking short breaks, and seeking support from your parents, your friends, your colleague. You're not alone in this process of examination preparation, and it always helps a student to remain focused on his or her health, be it emotional or physical health, before the child prepares for examination. So, a good balance of time management and handling of pressure, and always having a growth mindset will help you, overcome any challenge in life. Preparation of examination is one of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Madhu, ma'am. And I'm sure, as per your advice, students will prepare themselves for this VUCA world. Now, I'll request Mr. Pankaj Joshi to share his advice with the passing out 12th graders coming year, this year. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Pranav. My first message is that there are no unique strategies to crack an examination. Whatever works for you is your unique strategy, and that is your unique strategy, right? Universities are becoming demanding day by day. It's a fact, and that's what these students need to learn, because they are going to enter university. Because fortunately, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, our class 12 exam is actually a ticket to university, and that's what it is. So don't take it too seriously, but that doesn't mean that you do not, work hard. Work hard, keeping, as ma'am has said, keeping your mental, emotional, and your physical and your medical balance in mind. That's very, very important. Do take time out for looking after yourselves. An hour of physical activity, an hour of badminton, an hour of going to the gym is always a great idea. Eat well, and eat more of what is cooked at home rather than junk food, because junk food contains a lot of fat, and it does have a lot of impact on your study hours. One of the more important things that we need to learn at this point of time, because we are moving on to universities, is that you now need to learn how to work independently. Because at universities, you will not get people, your parents will not be there, your teachers, your secondary school teachers will not be there. So there won't be anybody there to prod you. So why not develop the habit now? Because right now you are studying for your exam. So learn how to study independently. Good study habits, of course, particular hours of study. And another thing that we need to learn for university is how to meet the deadlines. Those are important, because particularly if you are moving on to universities abroad, where you have to do a lot of assessment work, your deadline will neither be extended, nor will you be given any leeway. So if X date of a month is the deadline, it basically means 11:59. If it is 12 at night, your assignment or your assessment will not be accepted by the university. And the only thing the professor would say the next day is, sorry, we are not going to assess your work anymore. So those are the things that you need to stress upon. There's no need to take any kind of stress. You will do very well in your exam, and do look after yourselves and have a great result for your board exams 2025.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Madhu Khanna. I'm sure this video will be very helpful for the students, teachers, parents, and even school heads across the world. And thank you so much, Mr. Joshi. And I would also like to thank both of you for taking out time for students in such a short notice. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Mr. Joshi. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Pranav.
you,
Thanks for having me
Pranav.
here. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya, and thank you, Mr. Joshi.
Thank you so much, all viewers. Now we would like to just share a small tool for transition from schools to universities. In fact, a smooth transition. I will just share the video.